So, it's interesting. I saw a story on Baker Mayfield, and he said the other day, he's like, I'm not going to do talking, I'm just going to play. And I think it's the right thing to do. And I do think he's going to be successful this year because I think he has the right coach. But I want you to go back to your first year in the NFL. And it doesn't go as well. And Baker's first couple of years, they haven't gone well. What motivated you in that off season, first to second? Was it money? Was it fame? Was it winning? Like, what made you put 2 extra hours in a day and work?
Colin, that first off season, the only thing I was thinking about was not being labeled that B word, and that's a bust. I spent all off season preparing myself in the passing game, working on my speed, my acceleration, learning the offense, spending time with my receivers and my running backs, and trying to make sure that I was, in the best shape of my life and mentally ready for that 2002 season. The only thing I never wanted to be labeled was a bust. And aside from money, aside from the fame, because that all comes with good play and winning, I did not want to play, 3 to 4 years in the NFL and then be looking for a job or a backup somewhere and bouncing around. I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be someone, who was respected around the National Football League, and things took off for me. And I think it was a credit to the hard work. But being labeled a bust is something that you want, and it's always going to linger if you're a first-round pick. So you have to make sure that you do everything in your power in year 2 and 3 to ensure that's not being tagged upon you or a label that's going to stick to you. I mean, it's just there. It doesn't go anywhere. It's something that, it exists around the National Football League, and you should be leery of it if you're a quarterback or if you're in any position.
Michael, it's interesting. I haven't gotten your take when the Packers drafted Jordan Love. I said I thought it was okay as long as they would have drafted a wide receiver next. When they got your replacement and they didn't draft a wide receiver, then I get Aaron being like, whoa, come on, you got to get me somebody else. And Aaron is older and he's had surgeries. But can you defend Green Bay's position, or do you see where Aaron, you wake up in the morning and it's like, what's the point? We can't beat San Francisco. We can't compete with them. We need players. Where do you land on this?
Yeah, that pick right there was very surprising to me. I think Aaron Rodgers still has a lot of football left in him. I still think he's one of the top quarterbacks in the National Football League, and no one can argue that. And when I think about Aaron's career, the last 6 or 7 years, he just had no help. They don't bring in big-time free agents. They haven't had a running back behind him in years until, the guy last year stepped up. And it's just been tough for Aaron, and it's going to get tougher. I think he's a guy who can handle having a legit first-round backup quarterback behind him. I don't think that'll affect him with all the years and all the snaps that he's taken, throughout the course of his career. But, man, I honestly can see Aaron playing somewhere else in the near future. Will you draft a guy number one? Like they did Aaron when Brent was there. They did it for a reason, and it's just something that's undeniable.
Yeah, if you're a general manager, you do not want a first-round pick not playing for 4 years. You have to validate your pick. So Green Bay at some point is going to want to validate the pick. So by year 2, you can imagine them trying to get him some snaps. I want to move to the situation in New England. I saw Jarrett Stidham play in college. I thought he was good. I didn't think he was special. You're hearing stories now that Brian Hoyer will start over Jarrett Stidham. You watch a lot of SEC football. You've seen Stidham. What do you make of him? What is he?
Well, I watched Stidham very closely in the preseason last year, and I thought he did a good job of just orchestrating the offense and not turning the ball over. He led a couple touchdown drives, made some mistakes, typical rookie stuff. And then, I noticed that he had a strong arm and he knew exactly where to go with the football. And then a year behind Tom Brady only makes you better. Brian Hoyer, I think he'll be a guy to bridge that gap, if they're waiting on Stidham. But I don't think the New England Patriots let Tom Brady walk to let Brian Hoyer start. I think it's all about Stidham. And his story kind of reminds me of a Tom Brady type of story. Guy not drafted high, wasn't a guy who was well known or talked about or made spectacular plays in college. Just did enough. And I thought Tom was amazing in college. That's why what he's done over the last 15 years of his career doesn't surprise me. But we'll see what Stidham has, man. And I think this move was made for various reasons. He's a young guy. He has a bright future ahead of him, especially being with Bill Belichick. So, this could be some upside for him. I just don't think Brian Hoyer will be the guy starting at the start of the season.
You live just north of Miami, so you see some Dolphins action. Tua is my favorite college quarterback in this draft. I think there are some instinctive things that you can't describe, and I think that's an it quality. It's not that Burrow and everybody else can't play Justin Herbert. I think Tua is the best talent of this group. The question becomes, do you play him early? I have this belief that after about 4 practices, everybody in Miami is going to go, okay, wait, time out. This guy, he's got secret sauce, and we're just going to get him on the field. Yeah. So that's my guess. When you went to Atlanta, it didn't take many practices before they were like, okay, this guy's special. But you sat for a while. How long do you think Tua sits? Would you play him early?
The longest he going to sit, Colin, maybe a couple practices when they resume training camp. He might be number 2 on the depth chart for the first week of training camp. And then from there, he should be number 1 and take all the reps. After Kyler Murray and, Baker Mayfield and these guys started, when they was young, when they was rookies, it's no excuse. And when you watch this guy throw the football, the accuracy, his ball placement, it's undeniable, man. You got to play Tua early. And, it does you no good playing Ryan Fitzpatrick early in the season in the first couple games. What you may get out of Ryan and taking nothing away from him. He's a great backup. He's a great mentor. And he's done his due in the National Football League. But he can help Tua more with Tua being out on the field and getting the playing experience and then coming to the sideline and being able to, digest everything that just happened if things don't go well or if it does go well. So it won't be long. I expect Tua to be the starter week 1. I'm excited to watch this guy, and, just watching him throw the football right there, he reminds me of Steve Young.
Yeah, he really does. He's a special talent. By the way, you're a golfer, and I'm watching Tom Brady and Peyton Manning hit it around, and I was totally entertained by it. I thought it was fantastic.
Same here.
Have you played with a lot of these guys? What did you make of the match?
Well, I thought it was I thought it was very competitive. Look, I've heard about Peyton's game, and I know he can hit it a mile. I played some courses, actually one this week that he made an eagle on and drove the green. And so I could understand that, Tiger's Tiger. But I never heard about Brady and his golf game and what he could do. And watching Tom, Tom could put in a little more work, but Tom could put in a little more work. And, it was raining. And I know he's the ultimate competitor. Tom would love to do it over again, but, the cause and what it was about and being able to raise that much money, I think, it was just it was something that was definitely needed, man, and it'll go a long way in life. And I'm sure those guys had a great time. It looked like they had fun.
Yeah, it's great seeing you, Michael. I love talking to you. So your family's all good? Your wife making
family's all good.
Is your wife on
family's
you to
all
be
good.
safe?
Yeah, my wife won't let me out the house. Won't let me go out and get a haircut. I'm growing a little mini afro up under here, but it's all temporary. I'm enjoying it though. The love connection is in the building.
There you go. That's the way to look at it, right there.
Love connection is here.
All right,
absolutely.
I love talking to you, Michael. Thank you.
No doubt. Same here. Anytime.
All right, Mike Vick. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.